Flight Unlimited 2K18 is the worst game ever. In fact, it's so bad I can't even ask you to look at the main menu to decide if the game's gonna be good or not, because this game starts you out in a free fall without telling you any of the controls about how to fly planes. And yes, the game is in 4x3, and as far as I can tell, there isn't any way to fix that. So the game starts you off by saying, hey, your plane's on fire, you should probably land it, otherwise everyone's gonna die. The main problem with this being that there's no tutorial for the game, so it doesn't really tell you what to do or how to do things. Although I did pretty quickly discover that there isn't a whole lot to do, and you just kind of land the plane wherever you want to. You don't even actually have to land it on the runway to pass this part of the game. You can pretty much land it anywhere you want to, because most of the buildings and the stuff on the ground is just a flat 2D texture. And after that, the game takes you to its main menu. That would have been useful about 5 minutes ago. Through this main menu, you have access to a couple different game modes, including a campaign, a free flight, and I guess some other stuff. So I decided to do the campaign, and the first thing it wanted me to do was land on the Golden Gate Bridge, out of all places. That's a little bit odd, but okay, let's go ahead and do that. We got ourselves a little propeller airplane. We're gonna land it on there, probably hit a few cars on the way, but whatever. Oh wait, that's right, planes aren't supposed to land on bridges, because that's a stupid idea. So I tried landing the plane a few more times, and I eventually did it. It was equally as uninteresting every single time. I was also wondering why those clouds are black, then I remember it's San Francisco, and there's probably a lot of smog there. Sorry, San Francisco, but your air is poison. By the way, I got 3 stars for that landing. So after that, the game decides you're gonna pilot a stealth plane now, because, yeah. Landing that propeller plane on that bridge really helped my piloting skills with this one. All you do in this level, by the way, is fly through a couple rings and then land on a different airstrip. I guess that's a little bit better than just flying somewhere and landing, but still. You don't even really take the landing gears up when you take off. The wheels are just kind of underneath the plane the entire time. Maybe there's a button to do that, but I looked through the input controls, didn't immediately see it, and lost interest, and it didn't seem to affect my flying at all. Now, I'm not an expert on planes and flying things, but I am a wheel enthusiast, and I don't think that's how it works. Also, this is what the game sounds like when you're playing it. Tell your ears I'm sorry. So screw this, on to the next level. Oh god, make it stop! Oh, and by the way, I don't know if this is a problem with the mouse and keyboard, but the planes don't seem to really start taking off on the runway until they randomly start just jetting forward super fast all of a sudden. I don't know if I'm just doing it wrong, but again, the game doesn't have a tutorial, so it could be anything. So in this level, you fly from one place to another, and that's it. There's really nothing more to say. Then the game put me in a fighter jet, and that was kind of cool. It was all stormy outside and epic, and then... oh. Oh no. Also, when your plane explodes, why does it just look like it's covered in mud? At that point, I got angry at the campaign and decided to do some free flying, and oh my god, what is that? So, I'm not convinced this thing flies properly. So that was my experience playing the game. Now let's talk about things outside of the game, because the developer is being a little bit naughty. So Flight Unlimited was actually a series from the late 90s by a developer called Looking Glass Studio. The trademark for it, though, was picked up by this developer, and these games aren't really related to the old series. There's not really anything wrong with that, but it's still a little bit confusing, so I thought I'd throw it in this video. The developers deleted a couple of discussion threads that called his game a scam and some other unsavory things on the Steam forums as well. He hasn't been going crazy with it, but it is something that's been happening. And he said the reason for it was because the topic title was misleading. He didn't want the game to be misrepresented. According to him, he asked the topic starter to change the title of the thread. He refused to do so, therefore the thread was deleted. That's probably not something you want to be doing. Also, the developers been doing something I'm seeing become more common on these Steam games lately. They're using fake PEGI and ESRB ratings. Yes, that's a thing that's happening now. So according to multiple users on the forums, at one point there was a PEGI rating for this game, even though if you looked on the PEGI website, you couldn't find any confirmation that this game ever went through their ratings board. Now that was removed, so that sounds all good, right? Well, no, not really, because the game has an ESRB rating of T for teen. And guess what? When you look it up on ESRB, there's no results. You cannot make up ratings for your game using official sources. That isn't how it works. Those sources give your ratings, and what you're doing is misrepresenting both their company and your game. So you can bet your ass I'll be contacting ESRB about this. Now let's talk about trademarks and copyright, because I'm very wary that this game has the right to use 2K18 in the title. For those that might not know, 2K is usually what 2K Games uses for their sports titles. They call their games 2K17, 2K18, etc. This game is not part of Take-Two Interactive or made by 2K Games. I'm just gonna wager a guess and say after years of calling their games 2K, Take-Two Interactive probably has the rights to that name. So using it in the title of your game can be very misleading. I would say that there's no way people could ever mistake your game for any game by 2K, but at the same time, I've played the WWE game, so anything's possible. So yeah, this game could very well be violating a trademark franchise name. And finally, this game was originally on Steam Greenlight, because of course it was. Or I guess Flight Unlimited 2K17 was, but the trailers for that Greenlight page were for Flight Unlimited 2K16. I don't know, it's very confusing. I can't even confirm if they're the same game or not. But this game has tried to get on Steam multiple times using different names every single time. They may in fact be trying to pass off the same game and updating it based on what year it actually gets released. And I'm just gonna call that a little bit dishonest and very shady to do. And if the developer wants, they can by all means say I'm misrepresenting their game, but I think you're doing that a lot more than I am. And that's Flight Unlimited 2K18. Special thanks to Sir Violent Death, Reaper, and Mellow Online, pretty much everyone over at Sentinels of the Store. They'd been covering this one for a little while, and they were gracious enough to send me over most of the stuff that they found. Once again, you guys are doing great work, and I really do appreciate it. I am PattyJack, I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful day.